So yeah, I'm live now. So I just want to showcase this one project that I've been building lately. This project is called Remote Code. What it helps you do is it helps you create your own code spaces on your AWS infrastructure. While right now this project is built for AWS, I am planning to extend it for other cloud platforms as well. So what this does is it helps you create a cloud development environment. It gives you a full-fledged VM which has everything set up, your plugins, your development environment, your Git repositories, etc., and everything that you need to develop your software. Secondly, while there are other solutions in the market which help you achieve your self-managed cloud development environments, for example, the likes of you have the likes of Gitpod, but the problem with these services is, for example, Gitpod is specifically designed for Kubernetes. I guess I'm having a bad connection right now. So Gitpod is actually very much tied to Kubernetes. Then there are other projects as well, such as VS Code Server. But the problem with VS Code Server is that it is very much tied to Microsoft services and GitHub. Then another project that existed was Open VS Code Server, but the problem with that project was that setting that up was a hassle in itself. So I came up with an idea. What if, with a run of a few commands, you can set up everything you ever wanted, all the infrastructure you ever wanted? So here, this is something I'm going to show you all. So this is rcode or remote code, and rcode is the CLI tool which will help you do that. So rcode init, this command will set up the project for you. For example, I'm going to use this repo Hirsch098 and remote code. AWS, I'm gonna go for 3.3 small and US East 1. My architecture, I'm going for AMD 64, but you can also go for ARM 64. And right now I have only implemented CPP and Python plugins, but I have created a whole library which can help you design these plugins and add more plugins to it. So for now I'm going to configure Python and C++. No, I'm not going to configure C++ right now. And yeah, all these are set up. Now, as you can see, I do have an rcode.yaml file in my root directory. If I reload this, yeah, it's available. So I do have this folder and rcode.yaml file. I have this configuration file. Now I can fire up my VM. Now the first time setup takes a while, but once everything is set up, it's really fast. So let's wait. It's been 4 minutes and I'm still setting things up. So the first time setup, as I mentioned earlier, takes some time. So let's wait. Till then, I want to show you that how this is working. I'll be discussing about the architecture of this. So what I'm using is, under the hood, this project uses Terraform and Ansible. So you might ask that why did you choose Terraform and why did you choose Ansible, and what are the reasons behind the tools. So the first reason, I use Terraform for provisioning infrastructure on the cloud, and Ansible to install the required tools. And the reason for choosing Ansible was it was agentless, and the reason for choosing Terraform was that your architecture was under your control. You were not dependent on a third-party provider like Pulumi. For example, if you are on Pulumi, your configurations are actually monitored by the Pulumi dashboard, which is something which I did not want. So I used Terraform for the same. Second benefit of using Terraform was that if something goes wrong while setting up these things, you could just rerun the command and Terraform's state management would take care of everything. So we'll wait while things get set up and then we'll jump in right back. So as you can see, after approximately 10 minutes and 2 seconds, my VM is up and running. Now last time I ran the rcode create command. Now this command you do not need to run again until and unless you haven't destroyed your VM. So now how do I use this? All I need to do is rcode open, and by default it opens in port 8080, but you can specify any other port. I'll go with the default port 8080, and this is going to be set up quick. Yep, and my environment is available in front of me, and I'm having a bad internet right now, so it will take around 1 minute. Yep. So my project is, as you can see, the git repo that I specified in this configuration file is available there. And the best part is, as I mentioned, Python 3 as the plugin. Now this config was actually created by the first command that we ran, which was rcode init, and if you make any changes to this file, all you need to do to apply those changes is run the rcode create command again. And the best part about this is, in fact, you can check also, Python 3 is installed on this machine. Yep, Python 3 is installed on this machine, as I told you earlier. Also, the best part about this is, so how is it better, right? You said, okay, this took 10 minutes to set up the VM for the first time, so in which ways it is better? If you're using Codespaces, and it essentially sets up a dev container, which almost takes the same amount of time if you have a large number of dependencies. And the best part is, if once you close the code space, it's destroyed, it's gone forever, right? How this is different from this, that your VM remains with you until and unless you do not destroy it at your own will. This is the best part of it. And it is also very secure. Why it is secure? You might say, hey, this is HTTP, how is it secure? So it is secure because under the hood I am using SSH tunnels instead of exposing ports on the web. Also, this VM does not accept any connections other than SSH connections on port 22. So this is a very secure option as well. Coming up, I am going to add support for collaboration, live collaboration, as well as while this support can still be enabled, but you need to navigate to plugins here and install. So this is something I'll be integrating by default into it. And the second feature that I'm going to work on is adding support for distributions other than Ubuntu. Currently the VM that you will provision on AWS will be running Ubuntu, but if you want, you can also provision Fedora, Arch Linux, or any VM that is out there available on the cloud. Currently I have built this on top of AWS because this was the only cloud platform that I had access to, but in future I'll be adding support for Azure and GCP as well. I hope so. And this is it. And one more doubt, you might ask, hey, what if I want to access something on port 3000 on this machine, on this remote machine that I am running? No worries, all you need to use is the rcode port forward command, and you need to specify a remote port and a local port, and you can access that. For example, you have a React app running on port 3000, you can access that on your local machine. Now you might want, okay, now I want to destroy this, how should I do it? No problem, just go rcode destroy. It will now take into now read your configuration, check the Terraform states, and destroy all the infrastructure that it has created on AWS. So that's it, folks, and we'll catch up later. And I'm also planning to make this project open source. Currently, for the first version, I need to also add okay, this is timed out, I don't know why. Okay, so this happened because yes, this happened due to a timeout, because as I mentioned earlier, I'm having a really bad internet today, but this won't be an issue if you're having a good internet connection. So let's catch up later. I hope you like my project.